We had our first big league showdown of the year as the top two teams in the NBA battled it out in Phoenix. The biggest storyline was the suffocating defense the Suns played in the number 2 offense in the league, primarily on MVP favorite Steph Curry. Ironically, it was an injury to Devin Booker that sparked the Suns, who have been toiling in obscurity despite being the best and hottest team in the NBA right now. The name of the game last night was defense, so we don't need to dig into any of that fancy schmancy offense stuff. I want to talk about how well the defense of the Suns did to help shut down Steph Curry and the rest of the high-octane Warriors offense. Coming off a finals appearance, the Suns had the decided advantage of experience, with a number of Warriors players having never played in the marquee game with playoff-level intensity. The Warriors love to run this set with a pick and roll out top towards a pin down the weak side. A nice little wrinkle is setting a second pin down for Curry, which forces a switch and catches Bridges out of position on Juan Toscano-Anderson, who's getting his first taste of big game pressure. Great help by Landry Shamet to release from his man to stop the potential layup, but JTA travels first by landing before releasing the pass, then fires one too hot at another newbie to the intense pressure in Nemanja Bjelica. With Damian Lee busy with a newborn kid, Chris Chiozza got his feet wet for the first time in a big NBA game, and it showed. This Iverson cut into inside ball screen does a good job of getting a little separation from the long arms of Mikal Bridges. But the Suns were willing to ignore others to swarm Steph in the paint. Chiozza should simply be spotting up and take advantage of the help from one pass away by Chris Paul. Instead, he wanders into the paint, good pressure from JaVale McGee, and Chiozza rushes a pass out of bounds as he mixed up his signals with Steph. The Suns have plenty of mobile wings to throw at Steph, including Cam Johnson, who's got impressively active feet on the switch. Steph sees JTE in the dunker spot, and more importantly, his man Shamet waiting in the lane. Steph knows he can draw the help and dump it off for a layup, but JTA had a case of the yips all night and commits the you-go turnover. You cannot gather the ball with your right foot down, then lift off the ground and land on that same right foot, ruining what would have been a wide-open corner 3. Curry isn't one to force things, particularly with a little bit of a lead, so on the high hedge from Shamet, he gets that ball moving. Normally, this is where we see the beautiful game, as the ball ping-pongs across the court for an open shot. Watch how CP3 hands the roll man off to the lowest man, Devin Booker, and is already running to the flat like a linebacker in football who knows the screen pass is coming. I bet Toscano-Anderson has thrown this pass successfully to the corner 30 times this year, but not against this defense. Curry finished with a season-low 12 points on a mixture of great defense and just rushing his shots. Notice how Bridges has both hands on Curry's body, then stays connected to his left arm across the handoff. On the switch, Curry gets right by Crowder, but Bjelica was too slow getting out of the post and allows his man Ayton to take a mere 2 steps over to protect the rim. He expertly stays out of the way of contact to force this bad miss. The Warriors did everything they could to get Bridges and his 7'1" wingspan off of Curry. We've come so accustomed to seeing Steph make these that it's strange when they don't go in. Part of the reason was he let his nose go too far in front of his toes, leading him to lose his balance and have to rush the shot before Ayton got there. It was clear the Warriors were in a hurry all game long, leading to a whopping 22 turnovers. But I know you're often in a hurry when looking for tickets, and the best place to do that is on SeatGeek. I got primo Harry Styles tickets for my daughter using the SeatGeek app, and you always know what kind of a deal you're getting with the great selection of seats that SeatGeek finds from all over the internet. If you use my code BBALL, you can save $20 off your first purchase, so do what John Wooden said. Be quick, don't hurry, and use SeatGeek to find all your tickets for concerts, sporting events, or the theater. And that way, you'll have more energy to go see your favorite shows. Unlike Steph Curry, who clearly got worn down by all the physicality being imposed by the Suns' defense, this high pick and roll did everything it was supposed to do, right up to the point Curry blows the easy layup. That miss might have been on his mind a couple of minutes later, as the Warriors are looking at a prime 2-for-1 situation, but instead of looking to get by Ayton, he telegraphs the shot with the early pickup off the dribble, and we get a rare sighting of a blocked Curry 3-point attempt. But even when he gets by Ayton easily like he does on this clever ball screen for Draymond, it's Bridges who can freely leave Green to come over and just swat the off-foot attempt out of bounds. Speaking of which, it's time to talk about the Draymond Green problem in the half-court offense. Now, this hasn't been an issue whatsoever up until this game, but a good playoff-tested defense is going to exploit his non-adaptive ability to score and disrupt the whole well-oiled machine to the tune of their lowest scoring output by a mile. You can see from the start how much space they give Draymond, and it bothers Poole as Ayton ignores Green to stop the drive. This won't be a wide open shot, instead he makes the right decision, but credit to CP3 for getting a hand up quick. However, there are just too many options to get that pass through to not point the finger at Draymond. Setting the Curry ball screen with Draymond 45 feet from the hoop doesn't do anything, and now we can see Ayton again ignoring Green to stop the drive. It's painful to watch a non-scoring threat do this, but it was exactly what the Suns were counting on. The Warriors were about to get something beautiful going as the ball swings back to the right side and Steph attacking out of the pistol action with both defenders flying at him. But watch how far Crowder can come off Draymond, ignoring him as a perimeter threat. Steph makes the right decision, but the Suns don't care if Green is cutting from that far out. He doesn't even look at the hoop. Instead, just throws the ball away. If he's going to bring it up with Steph on the bench, the Warriors need to find other ways to keep the defense occupied. The sag by Ayton disrupts the initial action, the backdoor cut is also smothered because Ayton continues to ignore Green, and there's no lane for Wiggins to get to the basket as Ayton just waits for him before returning this shot to sender. Deep into the fourth, the Suns continue to dare Green to be some sort of scorer. Steph will give up the ball every time if Ayton steps up like this, and it's unclear why this wasn't a simple skip to the wing or the corner. Missing a double pump finger roll at a crucial moment of the game is brutal. And to end the game, with Draymond not moving from the low post, Ayton is able to simply stand in the lane and wait for the driver, pressuring into a missed layup. Of course, the Warriors did have some players out, and their presence would certainly change the complexion of this game, but we can't overlook that the Suns took this game without their best offensive player for all but 15 minutes of the game after injuring a hammy. The irony is that with Booker in there, the Warriors had control, utilizing a box-and-one defense that had the Suns struggling. Late in the first, you can see Gary Payton II ignoring the rest of the court to erase Booker from the offense while the other four play zone. The Suns do a nice job to get middle penetration off a ball screen and an open shot, but can't hit as Booker watches. It wasn't just on Booker, here they run the one on CP3, and it lures Bridges into something he's not comfortable doing. It was strange to see the offense stymied like this considering how well the Suns typically execute, but JTA is taking Booker out of the play, no one else is moving, and the defense gets the exact shot it wants, a contested three with no one in position to get the offensive rebound. Watch this quick screen into penetration, forcing JTA to switch off of Booker, which means the Warriors need to rely on slow-footed Bjelica to be the one on Booker man-to-man. The problem is, even with a mismatch like this, Belly still has four guys supporting him in that zone, and Steph perfectly takes the charge as the Warriors are about to take control of this game for good. However, Booker went out of the game soon afterwards, and at that moment, the Warriors went from a 5-point lead and feeling pretty good about themselves to being outscored by 13 points over the remaining 30 minutes of game time. The Warriors did play a little bit of zone after this, but it simply wasn't effective, with Chris Paul running the show and DeAndre Ayton taking advantage of ridiculous size mismatches down low. Golden State does need to be concerned by something we've seen in the past in the playoffs: extra physical play on Curry off the ball, which clearly takes its toll on him, and a curious development considering how there's been a new emphasis on how to call fouls on the defense this season. If the defense is allowed to get so handsy on him, the Warriors will need to get the ball in his hands more, where he can bend defenses out of shape, but might not be the guy to actually take the shot. It's time to start taking note of the Suns and what they've been doing, using the experience from their finals appearance and making another leap into NBA Finals favorites out of the West. I know one thing for sure, a Western Conference Finals matchup between these two would be incredible and something I cannot wait for.